Live. Oh, yes. Oh, brother. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Very pleasant good evening to you all. Good evening, good night, good morning from all those who are watching all around the world. A very pleasant good night to you. Welcome, welcome to this, the GMS Live Voice of Democracy and the GMS Live Radio Guyana. Now, I was told by a few persons that have called me after my show this afternoon that there are lots of persons who doesn't know about the GMS Live Radio Guyana. Now, I'm saying to all those who are looking, if you are looking via way of smartphone, tablet, whatever device or smart device, you are looking at the GMS Live Voice of Democracy. There's a number at the bottom of the screen there, 592-611-6575. You can call that phone. Text me the WhatsApp message on that phone, and I will send to you the app that you will download on your phone or on that smart device. And that app is the GMS Live Radio Guyana app. Can't miss it at all. My face is part of the application. So even if you're not too sure, the minute you download it, my face will pop up. That's how smart it is. I've made sure that when the app was created, my face was on the app. So it wouldn't take you long to recognize the app. I know it must have got those PPP people worried because this black man face is on the app and you can download it to whichever smart device you have. And yes, the app is free. But we mustn't look at everything that needs to be free. Oh, but the app is free. You don't have to pay for it. It's in the App Store, it's in the Play Store, and you can get it on Google. You can Google it. GMS Live Radio Guyana app. That's all you need to put in. GMS Live Radio Guyana. That's the app. That's the name of the app. Just type it in, Google it, type it in, it'll pop up. And it'll take you through the process of getting it downloaded. So I want to welcome all those who are now joining us from Guyana to the Caribbean and around the world. A very pleasant good night to you all. Good night to those who are now joining on the GMS Live Radio Guyana. This is Dr. Matthews at hand. Now, we're having a looming story that is showing up and pouching its ugly head in Guyana. And it is something that we are not being taken how should I put it over? That serious. So tonight's topic is named credible source. Well, I don't think there's nothing much credible about the source anymore. It's all over the social media. So we got to talk about it. There are some persons who are saying this is the hand of the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, who's trying to push civil unrest in the country. There are some persons who are trying to say that the PPP has an intentions of bringing back the red beret, which, hold on, which they had how many years ago training them up the Berbice River with the intentions of overthrowing the Fobbs Burnham government, all sorts of things. Well, I wasn't alive. I was alive then, but I was too young of a lad to understand the political differences like my children do right now. They don't understand what's going on politically. All they know that their fraud is a dunce and he's a waste of time. That's all they know because those are the things that they hear their father saying, which is me. So I must have to educate them from time to time. But at the end of the day, they care less. I'm serious. They don't really care that much because it doesn't matter to them. It matters to us that we can prepare a place for them. So when they turn an adult, it will be handed over to them in good care because they are tomorrow's leaders. But here what's the thing that is troubling me. Every time the de facto administration is trying to defend themselves about this ship or this cargo that is being found on a ship that is destined for Guyana, that is operating under the flag. It's a carrier. The ship is a flag carrier operating under that, how should I put it over? Maritime information for Guyana. It's Guyana's flag carrier. The thing is that all of the persons that are on that ship are Ukrainians. It's a troubling issue. Because here why I'm saying it's a troubling issue. Before now, during the 2011 Donald Ramatar's tenure as president, we had a lot of dealings with the Russian government and a lot of dealings with the Ukrainians who were part, believe you me, as much as we doesn't know, Ukraine then was a part of the mighty USSR, the mighty Soviet Union. And when the Soviet Union broke up into blocks, these countries got their independence, and Ukraine was one of them. But although Ukraine was one of them, its government still associate themselves with the Kremlin, which is part of the Russian autocracy. So during that period of time, we had a lot of engagement with the Russian government. And I'm going to show you one of them examples in Guyana. There is this bauxite company that is operating out of Russia. I'm trying to remember their names. It's easy to remember, but it's just that because I didn't do the research on it so quickly. They are here. I can remember when the APNU AFC government was in power. and they sent home a lot of workers that were working on the Bosai. Now I remember that's the name of the company, Bosai. It's a Russian company, and they're here operating under the pretense of bauxite. When Bosai sent home a huge set of people under the AP and UFC government, they were trying to instruct the government what they can tell them and what they cannot. And on the investigation, before the election, you can remember Mr. Harmon, then he was the director of affairs under the office of the ministry of the presidency under David Granger, or the director general, whatever you want to call it, but that was his position. And he sent a few Russians that they found packing home, deported them because they said they interfere with Guyana electoral processes. It was the same Russians governments under the pretense of some of them who are Ukrainians that were here. Now, I you watch laugh here. These people have a flagship carrier that is operating under the maritime boundaries of Guyana. They are not Guyanese, they are Ukrainians. But everybody know how Russia works. There's nothing that connected directly to them. You have to have countries who are connected to them. So in case an investigation is started, they can't say me, they gotta say Ukraine. Now, what dealings do we have with Ukraine? What more else dealings does this de facto administration? I mean, it shows you that they've been around a long time. They're embedded in Guyana's policy, democratic systems, political and electoral culture. These people are here. Don't let's fool ourselves. They are here. What businesses are they doing in Guyana other than bauxite? Is it intelligence? Because I want to know. Believe you me, I really want to know. And they're operating under the pretense of bauxite industry, and they're doing all sorts of things in Guyana that we don't know about. Now remember when Guyana had the oil for rice program in Venezuela under Hugo Chavez. Can you remember that story properly? That oil for rice program was basically financed by the Russians. That's a different story. But let me say this. The arms that came to this country, the arms and ammunition that came to this country back then came from the Ukrainians when the PPP was in power. Back then, the Kalashnikovs that they received back then, that the military has and the armed forces has, came from the Ukrainians. Now, it's a different story. Came under some kind of private sector body that we don't know about. I'm serious. Hmm. We got a whole lot of things that are going on in this country that a lot of people don't know about. A whole lot of things. Some of us are unable to take notice. Now, the gist of this story that is presenting itself in our social media is that these arms ended up into a country so called that they stopped to regas and was examined by the customs and examined by that country's law enforcement. And because the information that was provided to them, I'm sure somebody provided information to them because there's a manifest that you'll have to see when a ship arrives at your port. And that manifest will tell you what container has what is being offloaded there, what is being unloaded. And if a tip off was given, they will know what to look for in whatever containers that these things are being stored. And it's simple. If it was coming to Guyana, or no, sorry, it is simple. If it was going to any other country, the manifest would show. It would show. It's nothing hard. It's stopping here for fuel. Well, all right, good. This is the manifest. Where we going next by? El Salvador? All right, good. It's going to El Salvador. What's the next country after the Guyana? But it ain't going to nowhere else but Guyana. That's where it's not even offloading in that country. It's going straight to Guyana. Who is it coming to? No one knows. Are you serious? Are you definitely serious that nobody knows where this thing is coming to? Nobody can tell who's really receiving this stuff. Let's be serious. What kind of mayhem was going to happen in this country when those stuff arrives here? What kind of mayhem? Seriously. What kind of mayhem is expected to occur after all those arms and ammunition will find themselves here? It's a lot. Study about it. And let me tell you something. I have never seen a civil unrest. I never had the opportunity to see a civil war. I had the opportunity to see death and carnage, yes, by a narcotic industry within a 10-year period in this country. But I have never seen in civil unrest. I heard people talk about it in the 1960s. But I have never had the opportunity to see it. Hmm. I don't know where it was going to go, but that's a lot of firepower. That kind of firepower would back down the Ghana police force, even if the Ghana Defense Force, they would have to use heavy artillery to back off those Klavashnikovs. You know, is it a 7.62 by, is it 51 or 69? That's the kind of a caliber of ammunition that it uses. I haven't done those things in a long time. I can't even remember which one of the two. But, and yeah, for correction, there wasn't a Bosai. The company that I talk about, Bosai, is not Bosai. It's Rusal. That's the company, not both sides. Rusal. And Rusal is a Russian. It's a company that operates. It's a bauxite company that operates out of Russia, but it has some serious Ukrainian connections to it. And we don't even know how much money taxpayers pay for that ship to become a flag carrier for Guyana. How much money we pay them per annum or per month, or to ship what comes out of Guyana or to ship what comes into Guyana. But we don't know where those arms and ammunition would have ended up. Seriously, we wouldn't have known until now. Even if it had come in Guyana, we didn't even know when it would have been arrived. That would have been a huge lot of information to sweep under the carpet. But yet still, we don't have a clue. All the clues we have now is what we're gathering from their overseas based country to tell us Guyanese what is the next step that they would have taken. All we know now that all the entire crew member are now being detained